All right, guys. So we got the SPY. SPY's up to 506. Tesla up to 159. Uh, all right. All right. So what's up, Easy Mike, Joseph Yair? All right, let me get some music up. We'll also do a poll here live. Does the market bounce back today? Let's see. Does the market close red or green today? Is a better poll. I'll give you guys those two options. There's the options chat. Hey, thanks, Joseph, my guy. Thanks, brother. What's up, Han? Good evening from Cambodia. What's up, dude? It won't close red? It won't close green? Which way? Let me get this ready. Yesterday, Powell spoke. We were a little late on covering the Powell speech, but we got it done. We still had thousands of people there, so that was nice. Let me get this up here as well. There we go. Do we have any economic reports today? Not really. We don't really have anything major. Nothing really major. It's not even 7 a.m. You got to call. Yeah, again, it's all good. I think the best way to approach it is just to ignore it. Can you please analysis, Gary? Yeah, the SPY's gapping up to 506, although most of the market was flat yesterday. Let me get some music playing here, too. I'm going to go to some old music, because we've already held these before. There we go. What news is today? We don't really have anything super major in terms of economic data today. Yeah, the only thing I'll say is, like, when you're growing on YouTube, people get weird, man. Like, people get weird. Honestly, I take it as, like, a sign of their own insecurity. So, I mean, it kind of feels good, to be honest, to have haters that are obsessed with you. It's bittersweet, I guess, is the best way to put it. Like, it's very flattering that they're that obsessed with the channel, but, like, you know, it is what it is. They'll figure their own life out one day and stop obsessing over me for whatever reason, you know. Maybe, hopefully they do at least. No news is good news for my strat. Yeah, I mean, you know, a quiet inside day. We made a bunch yesterday. We made a bunch of money. So I'm very happy with the amount of money we made yesterday. I don't know if it's going to continue. But we did make some money yesterday. We made a good bit. So I'm hoping that type of day continues, but who knows, man. You know, anything could happen. I'm choking on my coffee. Ugh. Yeah, I mean, again, we don't really have anything today. Nothing major. Like, we've got NBA 30-year mortgage data coming out today. That's about it, right? Like, we don't really have anything else big. So we don't really have anything else, like, major in terms of economic reports outside of a few small reports today. Elon Musk said, "Whoa, I just realized that raising a kid is basically 18 years of prompt engineering." Honestly, he's not wrong. He's not wrong. You got to make sure to teach your kids the right things, but oh man, gold still up to 2400s today. Hit 2400s, which is kind of crazy. How do I recover from these Tesla calls? Well, number one, the question is whether you're actually telling the truth or whether you're just being dramatic, right? You might be telling the truth. I don't know. If you're buying Tesla call options, you got to stop gambling your money, bro. That's the easiest way I could put it. You got to stop gambling your money. Almost all traders are going to lose money, right? And so unless you're buying shares and investing long term in whatever, and again, I'm not telling you what companies to invest in. I really don't know. But you're probably going to lose money. And so if you're spending your life savings on options contracts, you probably got a gambling addiction. You want to go get help for that, realistically, you know? Yeah, so that's the only real advice I got for you, bro. Bitcoin halving is Saturday, I thought, right? I thought it was Saturday. Yeah, go get help, dude. Like, seriously, again, if you're, I get it, it takes a very special person, I think, to gamble their life savings on any type of stock investment. It really does, right? Like, if that's what you're doing, you got a gambling addiction. You want to go get help, bro. Like, that's the easiest way to put it, you know? And again, I feel for you, man. Again, the real question is whether he's telling the truth. You get trolls that pop up that I don't know if they think, like, it'll make me look bad or whatever, but like you get trolls that pop up. So it's also questionable whether that anybody in here claiming that is telling the truth, right? But if you are telling the truth, again, obviously it's not my fault. I'm certainly not. I don't even trade options, number one, and who knows what Tesla's gonna do, number two. But if it is true, go get help. You know, stop gambling your money away, bro. Best advice I can give you. so apparently there's some weird storm in Dubai. Okay, so Tommy's a troll, guys. Yeah, I do see you coming here every day. Yeah, so there's probably a halving calculator here. Let me see. Yeah, so here's the halving countdown. Yeah. So April 20th, 420. John, I'm just playing around, bro. All my stuff is in index long term. I figured you were, dude. Like I said, it's pretty easy to see. Like, you get people that say that. Like, I see people that say that regularly. I really do. Like, I get them all the time. And so it's all good, bro. Like, it really is. Like, you know, I'm going to try to give you the best advice I can, regardless of whether you're telling the truth or not. Yeah, I see that the storm took out the electricity over there or something. Inflation gets worse as they buy. All right, chat. All right. Someone said to buy DJT. Glad I didn't. Oh. Yeah, again, I'm not touching any of that political stuff, dude. I told you guys this a couple days ago. I'm not messing with political stuff, dude. I don't care. Again, I'm not really. Like, listen, I think it takes a. Never mind. I'm going to try to be as respectful as I can. I think people get really wrapped up in politics, dude. People get really wrapped up. And on both sides, right? Like, it's not just one side. It's both sides. They get really wrapped up. They start rooting for it like it's their football team. Their human nature. Human nature is tribalist, right? And so, you know, people get really wrapped up in politics, and their human nature comes out where they're rooting for their side, and it's their side, and right? I don't care about any of that stuff, dude. I really don't. Anytime I look at any politician, I think, hey, this person's trying to lie to me. Like, this person doesn't actually care about me. They care about getting elected and making money and having prestige and power, right? Like, that's what all of them want. They can all claim they don't want that. Even if they don't want that originally, usually later down the line, that's what they want. And so I just kind of avoid all of that with not getting wrapped up in it, not rooting for either side, and just kind of trying to be as objective. I look at policies mostly, but yeah. Yeah, we got crude oil inventories, but that's not really a big That's not really a big release. That's not going to influence things. All right. Yeah, beige book's not really important. We do have NBA 30-year mortgage rates coming out today too. Yeah. TSM earnings are interesting as well, but they're not today. We don't have any. The only thing we have this morning is Abbott, and I'm not sure if this is the same Abbott. Let me see. Let me see. ABT stock. Oh, this is Abbott Laboratories, dude. Okay. So fun fact for earnings today for ABT, symbol ABT. ABT is a pharmaceutical company that is actually the largest anti-cannabis lobbying company in the world. It's called Abbott Laboratories. It's the largest anti-cannabis lobbying company in the world. They pay both sides of the political spectrum, lots of PAC money. Yeah, I'm trying to see. There used to be a website where you could track this, and you could see how much each person was sent. I think it's hidden now, though, man. Maybe. Anyways, ABT, largest anti-cannabis lobbying company in the world. You want to know who's keeping it illegal? They're partly to blame for it, for sure. What do you see on the SPY? I see the SPY slightly gapping up after a choppy day yesterday. That's all it really was. SPY gapping up on a choppy day. I mean, it had a green day, though. Snow. So, I mean, you know them. They're going to celebrate regardless. I've kind of just accepted my small loss on it, but that's all right. Hey, we're nicely green today, too. Bro, we bought some in Nike a few days ago, and it worked incredibly well. Incredibly well. I'm telling you, the strategy of just buying really extended on the downside companies has been working. We bought Nike. We were down hundreds in Nike, and we bought it a couple days ago. We scaled up our size, and now we're basically flat. We're basically flat. It took a while to rebound, but we are basically flat now. I'll take it. Yeah, it's already out. Obsessed. Thanks for the heads up, though, bro. I appreciate it. Lulu is still... If we're talking about Lululemon, you got to look at the year here. And again, I'm not going to say I told you so, but I definitely did. You know, this is Lululemon chart. We had some guy that was just really angry, man. Some dude was just super angry. I mean, as soon as I start the stream, right, which is weird, that means he's obsessing and waiting for me to start the stream. He also got one thing wrong. He said that I blame the trolls on people who wanted to do partnerships with me and didn't. That's not who I blame him on. I mostly blame him on, like, I've had a couple people that have wanted to like be my business partner. Like they've wanted to join beginner trading and like be a co-host, right? Or like do some dumb stuff like that. Or they wanted me to promote their YouTube channel, and if I refuse to do it, then they start turning into jealous, insecure haters about it. That's who I'm really talking about. But I digress. Back to it. Maybe the hater this morning was in Lululemon, because Lululemon, man, has had a really big reversal on the year. It's now technically red on the year. It's looking really, really rough. Really, really rough. And yeah, went up to 516s. It was one of the strongest stocks in the market. And again, I told you guys this. I'll say it again. It's risky to invest in fashion companies. That should be investing 101, right? Like, do not invest in fashion companies. You know what I mean? Like, fashion companies are seasonal. They change. New generations adopt different trends. And it's just really risky to put all your money into a fashion company. I don't care how much you like it or whatever. It's obvious. Also, aside from that, Lululemon is kind of like, in my opinion, a placebo effect. You know, anybody that tells you about it, they're like, oh, it's so comfortable. Try it on. It's so comfortable. And so that's in your mind when you try it on. So you're thinking about how comfortable it is more so than you would if you try on a pair of Walmart pants. And then you put on Lululemon and you're thinking, is it comfortable? Oh, it is comfortable. Wow. You know, let me spend $100 on a pair of flimsy shorts. Like, I don't know. I don't get it. I just don't freaking get it. You know, some people get sold on that stuff a little bit easier, I guess. But in the end, Lululemon's down pretty big. Is it time to buy the dip, though? I don't know. It might be. Maybe. Nike's a legacy fashion brand, though. So Nike's different, right? Nike's legacy. Okay, Lululemon's last 5 years, really. Nike's legacy. Nike's been around for 30, 40 years now. And so there's a difference between already established brands, right? And again, I'm certainly not going to invest in Nike long term. I'm just not. But there's a difference between already established fashion brands and brands that are popping up over the last 5 years. Like, the difference is this, right? Like, you can invest in Nike, you're probably going to be fine. You can invest in, you know, whatever, Louis Vuitton or whatever you want to do, and it's probably going to be fine, right? If you invest in American Eagle in the early 2000s, you lost a bunch of money probably. Abercrombie and Fitch probably. Hollister probably. Like, if you invested in some of these newer companies that are brand new, there's obvious risk. They're fresh, they're new generations don't wear them, and so there's risk. Same thing with Lululemon, unfortunately. But again, to be fair, Lululemon makes a lot of money, you know. Yeah, exactly, Sam. It's transient. It's not going to stay steady. It's going to change. Generations like listen. I have a 14-year-old daughter. Okay. She does not want to dress like I dress, right? She does not want to dress like my wife dresses. Probably a better, comparison. Because again, new generations want to wear different things, man. They're not going to want to wear the same thing their parents wear. So if their parents are really into Lululemon, they're going to go to something else and wear something else and try on a different style and have a different appearance. And over time, those new generations are going to cause less and less business for the old brands, right? Now, some of these fashion brands stay with the trends, like Nike, you know, stuff like that. But those are outliers, and you got to look at the base of fashion. And again, Sam said it well. He said 100% agree. The definition of fashion is transient, essentially. So, you know, yeah. Apparently, there's some big storm in Dubai. So somebody saying Tesla has halted deliveries of Cybertrucks. Is this true? Let's see. Brake pedals, I saw that. Yeah, I don't know why Abercrombie had a big run. I really don't. Like, I really don't know why it had a big run. I mean, again, I think it just got pumped and dumped. When you look at Abercrombie and Fitch stores, nobody's ever in there. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's something about the brake pedal causing it to accelerate too quickly or something, is what I'm seeing. Yeah, if you like penny stocks too, VNDA, you got a couple penny stocks gapping up. VNDA is gapping up. CHRO is gapping up. CXAI is gapping up. BFRI, TWG, Talk, IAG, HNRA, IZM, GRRR. Yeah, nothing really major. Microsoft gapping up today too. I don't know what I want to do with that. We're green in equities on the day, so that's nice. Again, mostly driven by Nike, Tesla. What's up, Johnny? Be good. Starting the drive from East Texas to Williston, North Dakota this morning. Hopefully the market keeps me awake. Hey, good luck, bro. Is it just more and more malls are dying? Yeah, I mean, I certainly think there's less people going. Retail, to a certain extent, is going out, right? Like, it takes a very good brand to succeed. Like, most of retail is fading. This is very transparent, too. Like, most of retail is fading. And so I think this is really obvious and really, transparent. I think most of retail is failing. And so I think when you look at retail, you can kind of see less and less businesses getting attention, less and less interest in retail overall, less and less stores succeeding. I think part of the problem is due to people just want to start a business. They don't necessarily want to be smart with their business, right? So like people, they just want to start a business, but they don't want to be smart with their business, right? So what I mean by that is, like, it seems like people just freaking it seems like people just start businesses to say they started a business, right? But they don't actually succeed most of the time. Like, you look at an example of this is, like, you see a lot of businesses start up. You see a lot of retail business, brick and mortar retail start up. A lot of them are just freaking stores that never are going to have anybody there, and they're just starting these stores to start them. I don't know why some people are starting these businesses, because a lot of them you can kind of see they're obviously going to fail. There's nothing there. Now, this is not all stores, right? But there's a lot of them, right? There's a lot of stores. People are just randomly starting businesses. They're selling the most obscure things they could ever sell. And then when they don't get a bunch of people rushing through the door, they're confused. And they're like, hey, I don't get it. Like, listen, starting a business is hard. You better make sure you got a good product first before you start slanging it, especially if you're spending the rent to be at a mall or something like that. You see this a lot with shops and everything, but yeah. This is the TTM squeeze indicator is what that is. Sam, it's just kind of an indicator I kind of use off stream sometimes. But yeah, Bitcoin currently at 63K. Yeah, don't open a freaking coffee shop. Really, do not open a coffee shop. Like, it's going to be so hard to see. Coffee shops, number one, saturated. Because they're cheap, they're easy to start up, right? So they're saturated. Yeah. I truly believe in monetizing what you're passionate about, right? Like, I really do believe in that. Like, obviously, this YouTube channel is about trading because I'm passionate about trading and investing in markets, right? I love markets. We started a YouTube channel for it, and we make money from this. We make, we make money from this. And so I'm truly a believer in monetizing what you're passionate about, right? But I think if you're blind with that, right? Like if you're blindly just opening up a store, like say you like freaking baseball caps, right? If you just randomly open up a baseball cap store, you know, you're not going to succeed most likely. And so you got to make it smart. You got to be smart. You got to really, the way to do it, the only way to do it is to build the back end online first, right? You build the back end online first. You start selling them online, right? Once you have a justifiable business in that way that's scalable, then you start pumping out stores if you can, right? But then that's a big if. But then even then, if you fail there, you can pivot back to just pure online sales, get rid of those high margins, and just kind of move on, and everything's all good. That's the way you got to do a business nowadays, especially a brick and mortar business, I think. Subway sandwich shop might not be a bad decision, Easy Mike. I mean, I heard those are really cheap franchises. You know, they're supposed to be like what, like 100K franchise. The problem really is that the Subway in general is starting to kind of lose business, right? So it's hard to predict. It's just hard to predict. Watch Shark Tank. They say the same thing. Why do you want to do brick and mortar retail? Yeah, 100%. You really got to ask people that too. If market bull mean Dixie going up, no, opposite. If market goes up, dollar index is probably going down. They're gonna cut rates, no worries. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think so. I don't listen. They're gonna cut rates. The question is when. I think it'll be later this year. But I think we're gonna cut rates this year. You got a lot of people that think we're not gonna cut rates this year. I think we're gonna cut them, but I don't know when. And I think the longer we push it back, the better it is. All right, guys. What else we got here? Are you day trading this morning? We'll probably trade a little bit. Yeah, so we'll probably trade a little bit. I don't know how much. I don't know when. I don't know what. We'll at least trade a little bit. You know. What are you guys doing today, guys? What do you guys see this morning? You guys see anything good? Market's kind of flat right now, though, to be completely real. I can't help but watch all the rap beef that's going on right now with Kendrick Lamar and Drake. I mean, I'm a suburban kid, so like I'm not trying to act like I'm a gangster. But it's interesting to watch from the outside, just kind of looking at it. Nvidia's a meme stock. I guess it kind of is. I mean, it's moved like that. Again, what I'll tell you guys this though, right? It's up to 881s. You know, people act like Nvidia is just crazy extended, right? Like people act like Nvidia is crazy extended. I think if you look at their EPS graph for Nvidia. All right, I did this yesterday, and I still haven't heard an argument from those who say it's too extended on the upside, right? So you get people that say Nvidia's it's too up, right? It's too extended on the upside. All right, but okay, so let's take current price, which is about 880s, divided by the previous price, 262s, right? That's where it started the year off. So this is about 3.35x. We'll call it 3.4x. Just to make it a little bit up. 3.4x is about what Nvidia has done this year, which is about 200 and something percent, right? 3.4x. And again, that's rounding up. Okay, that's rounding up. All right. So if we look at Nvidia's EPS graph in the same period last year, right? So again, this was April of 2024. Let's take a look at April of 2024 or April of 2023. Look, here's April of 2023 right here. 82 cents is what their quarterly EPS was in this period of time. 82 cents, right? And so again, now let's do the same thing with EPS. It was 82 cents. It's now 4.92. So remember, 3.4%, chat. All right, I'm going to put this up in chat. 3.4%. Or no, not 3.4%. 3.4x is what I meant to say. Right? 3.4x. All right, now again, let's divide here, okay? So now 492 divided by, again, 82 cents. 6x. So again, I'm going to give you guys this. Their earnings per share. Listen, chat, I'm going to say this again. Nvidia's earnings per share has 6x'd. The stock price has only 3.4x'd, right? And so really, if we're going by the correlation of earnings increased from AI and the accompanying need for it with Nvidia has 6x'd its earnings per share while only 3.4x'd its share price. And so I guess the point is, you could argue in that regard that it's justifiable, right? Like you could argue, hey, like people saying Nvidia is just so extended on the upside. Like, look, if we're looking at how like the added benefit to their bottom line, to their revenue, that has 6x'd since 2024. That is up 500%, where stock price is only up 200 and something percent. And so, you know, again, I think that's a pretty good argument. Even if we look at Nvidia revenue, right? We could do the same thing with revenue, which I think is a little bit less of an argument, but we could still do it. All right, revenue. Okay, so let's take a look at revenue, right? Revenue is now 22.1 billion. In the same period, then it was 7.19 billion. 7.19 billion. And so again, 3.4x is what Nvidia has done over the last year. So let's do 22.1 divided by 7.2. 3, right? So again, their revenue has 3.1x. We'll round up like we have been. Their revenue is 3.1x. Their share price is 3.4x up. And so it is comparable, right? So whether we look at EPS or revenue, they're certainly making more money now, about the equivalent of the increase of their share price, right? And so again, if we look at how much they're making now versus back then versus what their share price is now versus back then, it's comparable. It really is comparable. Now, again, I'm not saying it's going to hold. I'm not saying it has to hold. I'm not saying anything like that. What I'm saying is that it's comparable. Yeah, but those are what ifs, Yair. Those are not, like, again, look, I'm not talking about what they might do in the future or what their growth might look like in the future or anything like that. I am talking about, was this move what the biggest argument you hear with Nvidia is that this move isn't justified, that this move is just such a huge bubble and that it's up so much, right? Like, isn't the argument not, hey, like all this stuff in the future, but isn't the argument Nvidia's in a bubble? Right? I'm trying to show you how when we look at how much Nvidia makes now versus back then, the bubble argument seems less valid. Because again, when we look at how much they earned, like if we look at the increase to earnings power versus share price increase, it's comparable, right? It's not like, my point is, it's not like Nvidia is just up 10x and their earnings have only doubled. Right? It's not like that at all. In fact, it's pretty comparable. Their revenue has about 3x. Their share price is 3.4x. Their EPS, their earnings per share, has 6x, right? And they're up 3.4x. And so it is comparable, I think. But maybe not. And again, maybe this is confirmation bias because I know Nvidia needs to hold the market up, right? I don't know. If they come in and beat numbers again, we'll be seeing 1,200. I agree. I think so. Yeah. I'm not sure, Bart. Yeah, again, I'm not sure. What I'm looking at is their earnings now versus back then, their revenue now versus back then, and their share price now versus back then, right? And they're all pretty comparable. If anything, EPS shows that they could be up more than they are now based off of the increase in earnings power from EPS. Their revenue shows that it's about comparable versus now and back then. So, you know, it's all good. It's all good. I guess my point is I don't think we can just scream Nvidia's in a bubble without looking at earnings versus share price. Now, another thing you could look at, again, is PE ratio. And again, let me take a look at PE ratio for Nvidia. Let me take a look, because PE ratio is relevant and important. So let's take a look at PE ratio. All right, so let's take a look at PE. So PE of Nvidia, last one on in February is 5/16 plus 402 plus 270 plus 109. All right, so a yearly EPS of about 1297. Nvidia price currently at 880s. PE ratio of about 67, right? So again, it's not good. It's not a good PE ratio, but at the same time, I think one thing you need to consider here, right? Like, one thing you need to consider is that this is from their old, like, the last, they're looking at May's earnings from 2023, which were $1.09. They're looking at February from 2023 earnings, and these are earnings that are going to fall off very, very soon. And so you have to ask, really, if Nvidia continues to put in, if we look at Nvidia expectations here, right? Nvidia is expected to release earnings May 22nd. All right, so May 22nd. If we look at their expectations for earnings, Nvidia is expected at 5/13s, right? So I guess the easiest way to do this would be to take off the last one and add 5/13s. Even if we want to be conservative, we can do just $5, right? Because they're probably at least going to show up at 5, no? So again, we can calculate that here as well and just kind of get an understanding of what we might get in the future. We could also look at forward PE, which is much higher for the next, for the next couple quarters. So again, 553. Look, we'll just lose the latest one, plus 516, plus 402. And again, this is conservative, I think, 270. Because again, I don't think they're going to be showing. So 1741 compared to the share price of 880. Again, gives it a PE ratio of 50. And again, I think this is only going to get better and better as they show more and more EPS ratios, right? And so their PE ratio should get better and better and better, especially if you use forward PE. And so it's not the craziest, unrealistic thing here. You know. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm not even talking about you. I'm talking about, there's a lot of people that say it's in a bubble, right? I hear a lot of people claiming Nvidia's in a bubble, and that's what I'm talking about. AMD PE is not really that crazy. Like, you get people that are claiming it's all these crazy, unreasonable levels. Again, we could calculate AMD real quick. AMD currently on 163s. AMD's last one was 77 cents plus 70 cents plus 58 cents plus 60 cents. All right, so 265 yearly EPS. 163 divided by 265 is 61. So I mean, it's not crazy high. You hear some people that are like, yeah, AMD's PE is in the 300s or whatever. No, it's not. It's just not. I think people are just kind of regurgitating things that they've heard that were like rumors. But AMD's PE is like 61. Not too bad. Not great. It's not good. All right, chat. All right. Let me see. Yeah, we do have some earnings this morning. Nothing really big. We got Abbott's, ASML. ASML already released theirs. They came in at 338 versus 284, 574 billion in higher than expected revenue and EPS for ASML. So, I mean, they actually did better than expected for earnings and revenue. They're just reacting negatively to it, probably from profit taking. But yeah, outside of that, we don't really have anything major here. This evening we got Las Vegas Sands. This is the last kind of slow week. Next week is pretty busy. Next week is earnings week. I'm ready for it, man. Tuesday, yeah. So we got busyness all next week. We got manufacturing, services, PMI, new home sales on Tuesday. Tesla earnings on Tuesday, Wednesday. You got mortgage data, durable good orders. Thursday, you got GDP data, jobless claims data. Friday, you got PCE inflation data next week. So it's a big week for sure. Michigan consumer sentiment data, and that's not even including all the earnings that drop next week as well. This week, again, kind of slow. Next week, though, next week, Verizon in the morning, Cleveland Cliffs, nothing really Monday morning. Tuesday, though, GM, UPS, GE, Pepsi, RTX. RTX will be interesting. Spotify as well. Tesla, Tuesday evening, I'm ready for it. Wednesday, you got Boeing, AT&T, Meta, Wednesday. So I'm ready for that. I wish Amazon would confirm their freaking earnings. Let me see. Okay, good, dude. Actually, I think Amazon is not doing the same thing. Please tell me they're not doing it. Hold on. This is actually great news for me. April's doing or Amazon's doing their earnings April 30th. I don't think that's when everybody else is doing theirs. Good, dude. Okay, great. That's great news, man. That's great news. Okay, so Amazon is not doing theirs like they did before, where they just freaking packed everything here, man. Hold on. Actually, no. Yes. Okay, good. The only problem is Amazon's doing theirs the same day as AMD. So that'll be interesting. But again, they're not going to be doing it the same freaking day they always do. So that's good news. So again, they're breaking them apart a little bit, which is really necessary here. It really is necessary. You know, it's not the same day as Apple. So I'm going to be able to cover Apple and Amazon earnings on different days for once. I'm actually, genuinely really excited about that. Netflix earnings are tomorrow evening. So again, Netflix earnings are tomorrow evening. I'm really excited about this because again, I can actually cover both Amazon and Apple earnings, which is something I never get to do because they always have it the same day, right? Yeah, today we don't really have anything big earnings wise. Tomorrow we have Netflix earnings in the evening, but that's it. And again, we're not really going to cover that. I mean, we'll cover it, but we're not going to stream. We're not going to stream that. Did Powell say anything important yesterday? Not really. I mean, he said basically what he's been saying. Robinhood says AMD's PE ratio is 311. It's not, Yeah, AMD's PE ratio is about 60, which is not good. It's not 300 though. Yeah, I don't think April's a very good month markets in terms of markets. I don't have a house payment, Ed, and again, like you get real estate professionals that really want the Fed to pivot to a cut because again, a lot of them are just struggling, right? And that makes them react really emotionally in a lot of ways. Like they're just hella emotional right now. I know a few of them that are just like, I gotta kind of avoid them because they're so emotional right now because interest rates have been high for so long now. And they're going to tell you it's a great time to buy a house regardless of high interest rates. I disagree. Again, interest rates have been high for a while now, and a lot of them are just desperate because you got to think, right? When the Federal Reserve is keeping interest rates high, when they're hawkish, right? When they're keeping interest rates high, they're keeping the federal funds rate. They're not cutting rates. They're not bringing interest rates down. This affects everything: mortgages, auto financing, lending in general. And so a lot of real estate people are desperate for interest rates to come back down. They really want it. And so I think confirmation bias overpowers them sometimes, and they overestimate the likelihood of that happening. But who knows? And so, yeah. A realtor would never tell us a bad time to buy. I'm telling you, it's probably not a good time to buy. But again, I'm not a real estate professional. I guess technically I am. Do not copy me. I have no idea what I'm talking about. I'm incredibly biased. Don't sue me. I'm not trying to be a real estate investor, real estate professional. Although I do have my real estate license. I mean, Brad, you want my social security number too, and you know my address and everything else? No, dude, I'm not telling you what kind of car I drive, bro. I'm good. I'll pass on that, sir. Yeah, look at WISA. What is this, man? This is crazy volatile, dude. Look at WISA. I don't even know what this is, man. Look how volatile it is. We're going to get ready to day trade, though, but man, I don't know what this is, dude. Do you think would go up the market? Yes, market go up would, in my opinion. What's up, KD? Netflix upgrade. Is it really? Did it really get an upgrade? Let me see. Lisa is the inventory company that comes in the stores to complete inventories. Bitcoin halving is Saturday, I think, right? Like, I'm pretty sure it's Saturday. I might be wrong, though, but... We're looking at some other news here to see if we can catch anything. State Street exploring an acquisition of SOC Green, or Gen, GLEFP custody unit. All right, so the White House economic advisor Bernstein says that any increase in U.S. tariffs on Chinese steel and aluminum should not affect inflation, according to CNBC interview. You think he's telling the truth? Travelers Company reported earnings. All right, so Tesla CEO Elon Musk reportedly likely to announce a $2 to $3 billion investment in India during his New Delhi trip, according to Reuters. You know, we're looking at that too. Mortgage data came out today. Let's see what did it show up as. 7.13%. So mortgage rates are going up. Yep. I think that's good. Keep them high. I'm for it. I don't need to buy a house right now. Cash is king anyway. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think I'm still in Palantir. I am, and Palantir's up. I just haven't sold it yet. Yeah, September's typically a pretty red month. You know, I've been hearing a lot of Septembers. It's pretty red. Halving means that miners are going to earn half of what they previously earned. That's why it's called the halving. Yeah. Basically. All right, guys, look at WISA spiking up again. It seems as if there's a shortage of CPAs. My CPA and several others. My CPA and see, Daniel doesn't understand taxes. Whoever this is on social media, he says it seems there's a shortage of CPAs. My CPA and several others I know are not taking on new clients. Is anyone else seeing this? Of course they're not. It's tax season right now. Have you ever tried to talk to an accountant during tax season? Like, bro, I had one that literally worked for me. If I tried to call him on April 15th, bro, he ain't answering. If somebody like you, bro, I've been there where I'm calling CPAs on Google at tax time, like, hello, can you be my accountant? And they're like, no, it's freaking tax time, bro. Listen, accountants are mean during tax time. They're stressed. They're not trying to hear from you, bro. They don't want a new client. They do a bunch of paperwork. They get paid $50 for it. All right. I mean, mine makes more, but still. The point is, you're not gonna you got to wait until you got to wait until tax season is over. Supermicro semiconductors. Where is that right now, bro? I know. Oh, it's over 1,000 again. Apple. I'm green on Apple again. Even though they dipped yesterday, we're still green. I really got to question the people that count Apple out. Like, you got some people that like, yeah, Apple is done. Like, dude, have you seen what kind of phone everybody uses? Do you know how much data they get from those phones, bro? And data is monetization, right? So again, Apple's making a bunch of money. A majority of people in the United States use an Apple device, right? And they're going to keep getting new ones every few years, at least, usually. That's a very good business model. Very good business model. Apple is obviously a very strong company. They're going to continue to be a very strong company, with the only exception being this DOJ lawsuit. Like, this Department of Justice lawsuit, again, if they stick it to them, that can get a little risky. But even if they get, they're just going to have to pay a big fine and they're going to be okay. Brah. Yeah. Yeah, Next is taking over. Yeah, definitely, man. I think we should hire the Coca-Cola CEO to run it. That's a good idea, right? Or the Pepsi CEO. I think we should, bring the Pepsi CEO in, hire him as CEO. Kick Jobs out, Anyways, thoughts on Walgreens. I think I'm still in Walgreens. Yeah, I'm still in Walgreens. I'm red on it. But, I'm probably just going to sit in it long term. I mean, it's a small investment where if I lose, it's not the end of the world. And I'll probably just sit on it. Again, my portfolio is pretty good. Right now, what I'm holding is this. And again, I'm not telling you to buy it. I'm not an investment professional. I'm not liable. If you lose, don't sue me. I have no idea what I'm talking about. I might take trades off stream, understand CFTC 4.41 when I start to day trade. Hypothetical or simulated performance results have limitations, all that good stuff. Understand this rule right here. Chat, it's also scrolling at the bottom of the screen every day. But, okay. Now with that said, and out the way. My portfolio currently consists of this. Apple, AMC, ARM, BABA, Citigroup, Chewy, Delta, Airlines, Etsy, Ford, Gold, GameStop, Google, Home Depot, Honeywell, Intel, Coca-Cola, MGM, Microsoft, Nike, Oracle, Pfizer, Palantir, PayPal, Snapchat, Snow, SoFi, SoundHound, Tesla, Tyson Foods, Unity, Walgreens, Walmart, and ExxonMobil is my current portfolio. And it's very green. It's very green. We've been green on it. We made money last year. We're up this year, Competition is taking Apple down any day now. What do you think? Competition is just going to sprout up from the ground? Who? Right? Like who? What competition is going to hurt Apple in any significant way? Genuine question. Not trying to troll. I mean, but again, what competition? Right? Honest, genuine question. Yes, you have Samsung. That's about it. You got Samsung, right? Samsung's highly used overseas. Not very used in the United States. Again, Apple has young people on lock in that way, right? What I mean by that is like I have a teenage daughter. If I go up to my teenage daughter and say, hey, I'll buy you the brand new Samsung device, coolest device ever. I'll buy it for you right now, brand new. She would reject that offer to use a 5-year-old Apple iPhone, right? Why? Because young people want to fit in, and if you have a different device, you don't fit in. And so they want to fit in. That's something that Apple's been very careful to do. And yeah, once people start with one device, they very rarely switch. I started with the Samsung a decade ago, still on Samsung. No, I'm talking the same stuff mostly every day. But again, this is my argument for Apple. You know. Hamburg, what's up, Roland? Yeah, but it's my argument for Apple. Again, I'm talking about people complaining about Apple not succeeding. Again, my genuine question is, what competition does Apple have? You know, people say competition is going to sneak up. The BlackBerry's going to step in. Hey, we'll see. We'll see, bro. Ooh, stocks. Wrong channel. Satellite phone. Nokia making a comeback, dude. I had the Nokia brick, right? You could KO somebody with that thing, dude. Those things were heavy. Here's a fun story. So when I was 15, no, I was 16, right? When I was 16 years old, cell phones for young people were a pretty new thing, right? Like they weren't highly used. It was pretty new, right? Like most young people, you know, were only just now getting cell phones. This is before now. Now you get a freaking 12-year-old a cell phone. But back in the day, you didn't really do that. Back in the day, you used to, like, I got my first cell phone at like 16, you know. I had one that I used before that, but I got my first cell phone at 16. It was a flip phone, right? Flip phones had just come out. Prior to that, I had played on like what's called a brick, a Nokia brick. I must have been like 17, you know, 16 or 17. Anyways, my parents got me like this flip phone at the time, which I thought was really cool, and it was like my birthday present was this flip phone at the time. In hindsight, you know, it wasn't the coolest phone, but I liked it because I finally got a phone, right? So they got me a phone. It was my birthday, and it was a flip phone. You know, it had Snake on it, a bunch of stuff. I think it was a Nokia flip phone. My friend used to have this Acura GSR, right? This Acura GSR, and it was cool. He had no idea how to work on it though. Did a bunch of bad mods, and the mods actually made it slower, you know. Anyways, but I digress back to the point. So anyways, I was sitting in the passenger seat of that car, and the phone slipped out of my pocket, right? Must have slipped out of my pocket like as I was getting in the car. As we pulled off, I heard a crunch. I heard a crunch. My brand new phone just got run over, you know. I almost cried. I was so upset. I was so bad. My birthday present just got run over, you know. I had to go in there and show my parents the crushed flip phone. And again, this was back before iPhones. Now, iPhones really were a huge technology leap versus what we had before. You know, the BlackBerry was the only thing we had before that, and it wasn't as cool. You know, BlackBerry is one of those things where you started using the internet and you had to worry because you're going to get charged like a lot of money to use the internet. They used to charge you a lot. Your Nokia brick I ran over, it was probably fine. It might have been fine. I never had a Razor, although I always looked up to them. Those were cool. Team up with Sidekick. I had a friend that had one of those. I never had one of those either. Yeah, it makes sense. Not everybody understands the context. Yeah, all good, dude. Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm here for 4 hours every single day. And so listen, we cover market news. We break down market news. We break down economic data. We tell you what's going on in markets. But, you know, we're going to give you the same arguments because that's actually how I truly feel about these things, right? So it's not like I could give you different arguments just for variety, but I'm going to tell you the same thing. And to be fair, I think it's better for people. Like, I think it takes a while to really grasp some of the concepts that we talk about, and specifically economics, right? But I also think it's important to repeat yourself so people really hear it, because sometimes, you know, they don't hear it, but if you repeat yourself, they do. And so I don't know. We're gonna repeat ourselves sometimes. It's an inevitable part of YouTube. You know, it happens. I never had the chirp phones. You know, I was always paranoid about the feds listening in. You know, in hindsight, the feds are gonna be listening regardless of whether you got the chirp phone or not. Yeah, we streamed. So we were late, KD. So we were late yesterday. We streamed, but I went to Jiu-Jitsu, and for whatever reason, I thought yesterday's Jerome Powell interview was at 2:15. It was at 1:15. And so I got home and realized that I was late for it. But we streamed it. We did stream it. We had thousands of people here. We had like 1,500 to 2,000 people here live. We were just pretty quick. Or we were just pretty late, I mean. Are you still at Boeing? No, I cut Boeing a long time ago. It's too risky, honestly. It's just too risky. I was in at the $200 level, and in hindsight, I got out right at the right time. Again, there's too much stuff going on behind the scenes there for me to want to hold it. Too vulnerable to that, to craziness, you know. But yeah, we did stream Powell yesterday. We were just a little late on streaming it. All right, chat. Let me see. So Nvidia up to 884s. Will Nvidia break $900? I don't know. About the original Razor, yeah. Well, I mean, it's not that the Fed can listen to your calls. It's mostly buzzwords, right? So like the Fed will listen to your calls if you say some sketchy stuff on the call, right? Outside of that, they're not listening to you. But if you say some weird stuff that, you know, triggers their alerts, then they're definitely listening to you, bro. Anytime I'm on the phone and we say something like out of context that's not really sketchy, but out of context it might seem that way, I always joke around and say, hey, I say, hey, feds, hey, FBI, you know, we're not talking about anything bad. Like, go away, you know. But yeah, they'll certainly do that, I bet. My son got his first jiu-jitsu match this week against another gym. Any advice? I mean, define first jiu-jitsu match. What do you mean match? Has he ever rolled before? Yeah, you're probably right there, Nick. I think you're probably right. Yeah, AI's gotten really, really good. Really, really good. Scary good. First competition? I mean, the only real advice is position over submission, you know, is the only real advice you can really get. I'm a white belt, so like I'm not the guy to give you advice, dude. Again, though, what I will tell you is that position over submission, you know. Like that's a very common thing. Basically, don't be so desperate to shoot for subs that you end up giving yourself a, you know, getting in a rough spot and not, you know, because again, it is points based. So just, yeah. All right, chat. Let's see. I'm looking at a couple different things. Hey. We got about 500 people here. Have you seen the Robinhood Gold card? Dude, I'm not getting a Robinhood credit card. I think I'm a yellow belt. You've got to be a troll. You ever see a guy who got hurt in jiu-jitsu that had a great job? What? What does job have to do with jiu-jitsu? No offense. I mean, I'm a genuine question. Does the Mike versus Paul fight have a huge impact on Netflix earnings? I think it's gonna. I don't think it's huge. No. Will it impact Netflix in a positive way? Probably. If it does well, that is. If it doesn't do well, it might impact them negatively, right? But yeah. Yeah, I mean, Joe, I'm a white belt, but again, you have to understand the context of jiu-jitsu. Like a white belt in karate is not much, but white belts in jiu-jitsu train for years, right? Like you have a white belt in BJJ for years. It takes years to get a blue belt, and I'm pretty close to getting my blue. You know, I guess the point is you put me up against most people, most regular people, they're going to get beat up. You know, top 3 beater-uppers in the world right now for sure. But no. Point is, I'm being sarcastic, but my point is, BJJ is different. Like karate's nonsense. They'll give you a black belt at 12, just a ridiculous freaking thing. In jiu-jitsu, you can't even get a blue belt until you're 16. You know, so there's just a difference, right? Like taekwondo, karate, they're awarding a bunch of freaking little kids black belts. It dilutes it's dumb. You actually got to earn it in BJJ. It's not easy, you know. Yeah, so European CPI data is already out today, right? So it's already out. So again, we are already out here for European CPI. I dropped early this morning, early enough to where I can't freaking cover it. But European CPI showed up at 2.4%, basically neutral. Everything showed up as expected. 2.4% was expected year over year. They showed up at 2.4. Core CPI year over year showed up at 2.9. Regular CPI month over month showed up at 0.8. These were all as expected neutral readings for CPI in Europe. Nvidia is bouncing up. We're going to get ready to potentially day trade some. Yeah, definitely top 3, you know. Yeah, I'm probably top 3 brown-headed, you know, 2-stripe, you know, Gracie white belts in my specific part of my town, you know, on Tuesdays. Definitely top 3 ever in the world. Can you take on an amateur boxer? Well, it depends. Top 3 worst boxers ever. So probably not, you know. I don't know. Genuine question. If to take on a boxer, it depends on if I can grab him. If I can get his leg, he's done, you know. But if he can stop me from getting his leg or even getting a collar tie, I'd probably be all right. But, you know. Well, Sambo is probably the most effective, you know, thing in MMA in general. Like, Habib is an animal, bro. He's a beast. Bitcoin is dropping. I don't know. Bitcoin down to 62.9. It's probably just approaching the halving, right? Bitcoin's probably just getting close to the halving. Yeah, I see WISA rip up. It looks strong. How useful is Jiu-Jitsu in a street fight? It's useful. You know? Like, it's useful. Did you really create a complete fake alternative account just to troll about being good at Taekwondo? Stop, take a step back, evaluate your life, sir. Is Bitcoin having most probable project demand price increase? How does it work? It means that miners are it's gonna take twice as long and they're gonna earn half as much to mine things in Bitcoin. Basically, they're gonna earn half as much. They're only gonna be able to mine about 50% of what they once did. So it's gonna negatively impact miners, right? So if we look at Mara, we look at Riot, we look at Mara, we look at Riot, they're all down going into the halving, and justifiably so. I mean, they're going to earn about half of what they once did, right? So if you look at Riot heading into it, obviously miners are not reacting very well to this. This is one of the reasons I'd rather just hold Bitcoin instead. Like, people always ask me, hey, John, why don't you buy Riot or Mara? Why wouldn't I just buy Bitcoin? You know, why try to bet on a miner? This is the risk that you take in a mining company. You know, the interesting part is about after the halving, is there going to be some dip buys here? I don't know. I don't know. All right, so we're going to get ready to try to day trade a little bit here. Let's see how this goes. All right, so we made a nice little grind up yesterday where we made a bunch in futures. We're going to see if we can pull something else off today. Let's try to day trade, huh? There's Nvidia still. Nvidia's trying to. I mean, it's at 881s, but might be time to buy the dip. Also, guys, if you haven't already, check out Apex. Apex, 80% off sale going on right now. 80% off, which means that they're going to give you a demo on Apex. If you could pass the test on the demo account, they fund you, right? And when you consider that almost all day traders lose money, do not put up thousands of dollars trying to look cool in markets in the beginning. You're almost certainly going to lose your first couple accounts. If you make your first couple accounts 5K, you're probably going to lose 5K, right? Instead, try a funded account program. Number one, in futures, it's very similar to day trading stocks. Most pro day traders trade futures over stocks because there's better liquidity and there's no PDT rule, which means that you can get started for less, right? So you can get started in futures. You could day trade the S&P, the NASDAQ, basically the SPY and Q price action patterns are very similar to blue chip stocks like Apple, Amazon, but there's no PDT rule. These funded account programs are also allowed, and they allow you to get started for even less, right? So this 25K challenge, they're going to give you a 25K demo account first, and they're going to test your skill with that demo. Just taking the challenge builds your skill, helps you to get better, teaches you how to trade under pressure, all that good stuff, right? So just taking the challenge builds your skill, in my opinion. And if you lose, your risk is limited. Instead of losing thousands like most new traders do, you're only out 30, 35 bucks if you use my link. Right now it's 80% off, so it's really like 30 bucks if you use my link for the 25K. When this account that we made 500 on yesterday or so is a 50K combine challenge right here on Apex. And again, they're going to give you 50K demo. You got to make 3K without losing 2,500. So a 3 to 2.5, a 3 to 2.5 ratio, very reasonable ratio there. Max loss versus profit. And again, they're one of the most legit in the world. And so again, it's the best of both worlds. If you lose, you're only out what you pay for it. In this case, this one was like 35 bucks, I think. If you use my link, you get it for like 35 bucks. And there's a 1-day pass going on right now, which won't last forever as well, which means that if you sign up today and try this out today and pass it and hit this profit target without hitting this max loss, you're going to get funded today. And so again, check them out. They paid out over $100 million. They're one of the most legit in the world. If you want the max discount, use promo code BT, beginner trading BT. It'll get you the max discount. Although, they are a sponsor. I'm biased. They pay me money. I'm biased. They're a sponsor of mine. Always try to be honest and transparent about that. There's the link. There's a bunch of different accounts all the way up to 300Ks. There's static accounts, all that good stuff. Also, understand CFTC 4.41, hypothetical or simulated performance, might vary, all the good stuff. I do trade off stream sometimes. Do not copy me. I have no idea what I'm talking about, guys. All right. Never used them. Oscar, he said eToro, never used them, brother. Yeah, we'll cover SoFi earnings. And again, remember, if you want the max discount on Apex, just BT. We'll always get you the max discount. Just 2 letters. BT, beginner trading, BT. Let's see our poll number. We did a poll. Does the market close red or green today? 57% say green. 43% say red. So anything else that's moving right now? Again, we'll probably try to day trade here. I might buy this dip. This is the Dow. I don't want to trade the Dow, though. I'd rather trade the NASDAQ. Right, and so again, this is basically the Q price action. I'm going to buy this dip. I think Nvidia could bounce. I'm a little late on the trade. So, I'm a little late, and that's all right. We're going to add on this pullback. Try to make a 4 or 5 contract position here is kind of what we've been getting used to. I've been learning to trade a little bit larger in size. So we're going with 4 to 6 contracts. The only main difference between stocks and futures is sizing. Aside from that, it's very similar to day trading stocks. All right, we're in 4 contracts here. I want to give it time to bounce. I just want to see if Nvidia bounces here. All right, we're going to probably sell this or get out of most of this here. Yeah, we're going to get out of most of this. So we lost like 50 bucks there. Not how I wanted to start the day, but hey, we made like 500. Yeah, ow, I drive a Bugatti, bro, Yeah, dude, I mean, you didn't know, dude, I drive a Bugatti, bro. A purple Bugatti. Dude, just look for me, Top 3 Bugattis in the world right now. All right, so we got a pretty big pullback. We're going to start to scale into this now. 3 contracts. Get a pop. There we go. All right, so we made, you know, some of our money back pretty quickly here. Try to add a little bit more to this, maybe. We'll just take that off, actually. All right, so yeah, we're down like 25 bucks. Not a bad day. Bro, I got a Ford Pinto, bro. Don't judge. All right. Yeah, not really any big earnings today. It's kind of slow. So we did get a little pop. Again, I want to see if Nvidia bounces at this 880 level. That's kind of what I'm watching. I want to see if it bounces right at 880. So why is it such a big secret what kind of car you have? It's not a secret. I just want a certain level of privacy, Jeremy. You know, like, again, like somebody earlier was like talking about how like you know, again, somebody earlier was talking about how I talk about haters too much and I need to be quiet and I'm a clown and like all this stuff. Like, people get obsessed with my channel, man. They really truly do. People get weird, dude. Like, it's very unnerving. Like, people think that I just have this ego or whatever it is, but like, number one, mostly I'm sarcastic there. But to be completely serious for a second, I really have had stalkers here. Like, I have had obsessive stalkers. Like, I've given people my number and they have called me 30, 40 times. Like, weird. Like, people are weird, man. People get obsessive. Like, usually it's people, anybody, okay. If you look at the people that are the most vulnerable to being turned kind of like, for lack of a better word, radical in one way or another, whether it's religious, whether it's political, whether it's whatever, right? If you look at the people who usually get turned a little bit crazy, it's usually when they're at a very vulnerable place in their life. Like, maybe they're struggling financially. They don't have much going on for them. They're kind of looking at their life and they're depressed and they're sad and they're upset or whatever it is, right? I think you get a certain amount of people who get weird and turn weird. And sometimes they target me. Like, sometimes they look at me and they get weird with me for whatever reason, usually out of their own insecurity is what it is. Like, usually, like, they're struggling, they see me on YouTube or whatever, and they just kind of channel all that energy into me and like obsessing over me. Some of them have gotten really, really strange, really, really weird. And again, I'm not even joking or being sarcastic. Like, I've had stalkers here. It's very, very strange. And it's unnerving. And once you do this for a while, when you put yourself in kind of that public sphere, once you do it for a while, you start to kind of, I've said this before, like, I have a nice house, like, I have a nice car. If I wanted to use those things for marketing purposes to act like a sleazy guru and sell you guys a terrible course on stocks or whatever, I could and make millions of dollars from it. I almost certainly could, right? I would rather maintain a base level of privacy, you know, without worrying about it. So, yeah, so I guess the point is, I need a base level of privacy. I'd rather, you know, yeah. Definitely top 3 biggest egos in the world. No, people on the internet are freaking weird, dude. They're super strange, man. They're upset. Again, a lot of them, what it really is they just don't have much going on. Like, the biggest haters are people who have tried to do this, right? So if the biggest haters are ones that have tried to start their own YouTube channel and failed, right? Or they tried to start their own crypto channel and failed, right? Or they tried to, you know, again, they tried to be my co-host and failed, because I'm not going to let anybody, again, join or anything. Like, those are the biggest, weirdest, most obsessive haters in the world, because again, it's like, I'm doing what they want to do, and so that makes them weird. But It's strange. You got to learn to just kind of deal with it. But yeah, maybe this is therapeutic to talk about. Top 3 most therapeutic conversations in the world right now. The Mahogany Library says it all, dude. You know, definitely top 3 smartest in the world. Yeah, Pawn says John didn't even send me his number for about 2 years now because I learned not to, bro. Listen, it's hard to tell who people are, man. It really is. It's hard to tell. You know, and then I think some people, like, they get it in their head they want to be my friend in real life, and so that makes them kind of act really brazen and weird too. Like, I don't know, man. Anyways, the question is, do you think miners are going to bounce back? Do you think Bitcoin miners bounce back? Are miners going to bounce back after the halving? No? Yes? A lot of GPUs hitting the marketplace. I don't know, man. I think, you know, like Riot as an example. Riot's dropped about 50%, right? The same thing the halving is going to do to crypto. So I think there's arguments on both sides of that. I think you could argue that, you know, their bottom line is just affected by it. And so, you know, I think you could argue that. You could also argue that temporary weakness on a bounce back afterwards. We'll see. If they are gonna bounce back, maybe there's some good dips to get involved with. But yeah. Yeah, again, Michael says they will be able to mine 50% less after the halving. So I don't think so. I think I agree with you, Michael. But I think you also have to look at whether Bitcoin. If Bitcoin continues to run up and gets close to 100K, of course they're gonna bounce back. But outside of, if Bitcoin stays at the same price, I think it's up in the air, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, guys, I just started using Apex last month. But again, you also have to understand, like, I don't put that much time and energy into these funded account programs. Like, I really don't. Like, I might trade them on stream with you guys, but I'm not really trading them off stream that much. Like, my TOS account's got 70 something thousand liquid dollars in it, right? Like hundreds of thousands of buying power. I don't need to get a payout. Like, I really don't. Like, I don't actually need to get a payout. And so I don't have any sense of urgency in that regard, I guess is the point. You know, I got stuff going on in the back end. I bought Intel a couple days ago. It still hasn't bounced back yet, but I think Intel was really, really weak. So I did buy it a couple days ago, and I'm basically flat on the position. I'm down a little bit for Intel, but not much. It's not a huge position either, but I did dip buy Intel a couple days ago because, you know, it's down over the last, since the beginning of April. It's basically been on a straight downtrend. So if you look at Intel here, again, Intel's basically been straight downtrending since, like, look at this. Intel's been on a long-term downtrend since December even. And so, yeah, it's looking rough. Everyone should buy deep out the money. Nvidia puts expiring Friday. Sounds like a horrible gamble. Maybe you make money, I don't know. But not for me, bro. Hey, man.
Hello.
Love you, buddy.
Love you. Yeah, just gotta fix that.
Yeah. You see that? Love you, man. Have a good day at school, buddy. Just have your mom to wet it. It doesn't look bad.
Yeah, it's just...
I kind of like the messy look, dude.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, man. It looks cool, bro. Love you.
Love you.
Great job yesterday. Can I tell them?
No.
Please.
No. No. Don't. It's embarrassing.
But they don't know you.
They know that I'm your daughter.
Come on.
No, it's embarrassing. I mean, it's not even that embarrassing, but I just don't want you to.
I would never.
You're supposed to be nice to me.
Don't embarrass your kid? Okay, fine.
Yeah.
She's 14. It's my job to embarrass her as her father, to be honest.
I don't like it.
Yeah, well, it'll be alright. It's nothing super bad, right? Like, they're expecting it to be something like, you know,
Oh, yeah.
traumatizing. It's not. It has to do with softball. It has to do with the softball play. In a game that they won, right? In a game that they won. They won the game, so in the end it didn't matter. It's just kind of a funny thing that I kind of troll her about a little bit. Now the suspense is built. No, it's alright. I can say it? Okay, so my daughter, right, they're playing a game. Okay. And for dramatic purposes, softball ends at 7 innings. So it's the bottom of the 7th. It's effectively the bottom of the 9th, right? It's tied up 2-2. Maddie comes up to the plate, right? Now, the previous bat, she struck out. And so what I told her was stay in front of it because the pitcher was fast, right? Like this other pitcher they were playing against was pretty quick. Like she was fast. And so I kept kind of yelling, hey, stay in front of it, stay in front of it. Maddie hits the ball, and she thinks the ball goes foul, but it doesn't go foul. So she basically hits the ball and then stands at home plate and then looks over at first. And then the first base, everybody's like, go, go. And Maddie's just sitting there. And by the time she even realized it was a fair ball, she was out, you know. It was kind of a grounder. She would have been out. Yeah, she would have been out anyway. So and they ended up winning the game. And so in the end, it was insignificant. It was just kind of a funny thing that I was just like, afterwards, I was like, no, you know. But again, it was funny. In the end, I told her the rule of baseball is that if you make contact with the ball at all, right, it can go freaking behind you. You run. Okay, you run. If you make contact at all, you run. All right. Same thing is that if it's third strike, you run regardless. Okay, because again, if they drop it, you got a chance to get on first, and you know that happens a lot. So yeah, you hit the ball, you run. It could go 3 feet behind you. You run until you hear blue say foul ball or whatever they're gonna say. You know. That the ump was bad yesterday.
Yeah.
Though,
Really bad.
just inconsistent, you know.
The balls that Kira was throwing had strikes.
Right. Well, no. What I
Those
hate.
were good outside pitches.
No, for sure.
And he was not. He was just
Yeah.
on them.
Well, no. Like one thing that I hate it when umpires do this, right? If one pitcher's obviously better than the other, right? And y'all's pitcher was obviously better than the other pitcher. If one pitcher's better, they'll shrink the strike zone so much. So basically they'll make the better pitcher be perfect. And then they'll make the worst pitcher have a lot more wiggle room. It's so crappy. It's like, look, you're taking away the edge the good pitcher has. Like leave the strike zone the same for both of them. Like don't shrink one just because the pitcher's better. You know, like that's stupid. Like who cares? Just let them play, you know. Anyways.
All right.
I love you. Have a good day. Good job. Y'all won. Good job.
Okay.
Love you. Lesson is if you hit the ball, run. Yeah. All right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's not something super bad, you know. All right, so we did bounce. I should have stayed in this NASDAQ trade. I should have stayed in it, held it, rode it. Freaking pamping, dude. Somebody kept saying pamp yesterday. I don't know what y'all are talking about. Oh, I didn't even see it, Paul. Let me see. Yeah, that was her. She hit the ball. Again, she thought it was foul. And to be fair, it was pretty close to first, right? But she would have been out no matter what. Like, the first baseman stopped it, grabbed it, stepped on first, and she was out. So it wouldn't have mattered. Maddie's not the fastest kid in the world. You know, I love her. She's not very fast. She knows she's not fast. She jokes around it. Ironically, she's actually really good at bunting. You know, she just doesn't have the speed to really make it useful yet. She'll get there. Inverse head and shoulder formation. Yeah, I mean, I think you can kind of see what the NASDAQ's been in this trend. NASDAQ's been in this trend. And we're kind of breaking over that trend now. So if we dip back down, I might buy this dip. Just because we broke out of the trend, and now we'll see if we hold or whatever. We got some news that we're putting up on screen. Again, mortgage data is out. We do have Abbott Laboratories earnings coming out, 98-cent EPS versus 95. Revenue of 10 bill. They expected 9.8 bill. They narrowed fiscal year EPS view. So put this up on screen as well. Deutsche now expects the Bank of England to start cutting rates in June versus May. So they're pushing back their cut expectations. So we are popping up a little bit again. I'll see if we dip. I'll buy a dip if we get one. Hit of the Nvidia 835 puts for 2,600 will net you 14,000 in profit. This is not. Yeah, that's a bad. Yeah, we're not gonna say that, David. Sorry, bro. My job is to protect people, and so yeah, we're not gonna say that. All right, so we're sitting tight waiting here. We're probably going to buy this dip now, actually, that I look at it. We'll take 5 contracts here, maybe. Maybe add 6. 5, 6. We got 6 contracts. Hey, baby. You all right?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry guys. We were doing family stuff here in the background. My wife and kids came in. We did lose a little bit on that trade. I think we're down like $80 today. Certainly not what we wanted, but hey, that's how it goes sometimes. Market's kind of flat and choppy. I mean, we broke the trend and then came right back down. So we really just kind of have a flat and not low liquid, but just choppy, I guess. Hope you guys are doing well, making some money. $630 series cards. What is that? S. I don't know what that is. Nvidia. I don't know, man. Again, I really don't know about when you should sell not microchips. When you should sell graphics cards, I have no idea, bro. Yeah, I mean, it looked really strong. We broke the top of the trend line, pulled back to it. I'm not mad at the trade idea, but yeah, it's just kind of one of those things that just turned on us quick. So this is weak looking, so everything's looking kind of weak now. All right, chat. Big flush breakdown. If we get a bounce back, we'll probably try to short it too. But yeah. My hair's finally starting to grow back. They cut it way too short. Like, they cut my hair way too freaking short, man. And so it's finally starting to get to the point where I like it. Yeah, big fake out here. That's pretty obvious. Or not a pretty obvious fake out. Pretty rough fake out, I think. How's the Q? Here, we're gonna short this little bounce here. Although again, oh my gosh, I just took 12 contracts here. Didn't mean to. Complete accident. I never readjusted my size here. All right, so we just took half of it off. Freaking scary, man. Just way too big of size for this early. We still got 6 contracts here, though. I'd like to let it work, but kind of flat on the rest. We made a little bit on that little bounce here, so that's nice. But there we go. I took a little bit more off here. Sometimes luck is better than skill, I guess. We just made about $30 from this trade. We'll cut the rest break even. Yeah, we're out. So yeah, I mean we're only down $70 on the day. Could be worse. Yeah, we took 12 contracts accidentally there. Well, that mistake happens at least once a year, or once every couple months, I would say. But could have been worse here, chat. Could have been worse. Yeah, definitely top 3 worst entries in the world right now. Powell said yesterday the recent data have clearly not given us greater confidence and instead indicate that it is likely to take longer than expected to achieve that confidence. Yeah, for sure. No, one of the again what I said when I originally covered this meeting here, chat. One of the things I said, I'm gonna take another 4 contracts. One of the things I said when I covered the meeting is that he seemed hawkish to me. He seems less likely to ooh, look at this, nice. He seems less likely to boom. Hey, beautiful trade here. Beautiful trade. We'll go ahead and cut the rest there. Nice. So yeah, we're basically flat on the day now after that last trade. But what Powell seemed to me was hawkish. He seemed like they were less likely to cut rates anytime soon. He seemed like they were more likely to keep interest rates high, right? He said the data showed less likelihood of cutting rates, essentially, is what he said, right? So again, I think that's what's going on. Anyone having trouble logging into Apex? No, I'm in right now. I'm trading it. All right, so we did get a pop right back up here. Let's see. When's the next Tesla live stream? Outside of earnings. I know we got earnings next week. What size account are you on? So this account on the right is about 70. It's like roughly 75,000 is what this is. Roughly $75,000 account on the right side. Not in actual total like buying power. I got like, let me see. Like I have about 300K in buying power on this right side. This left side's a 50K funded account on Apex. We're going to short right into this resistance level for a quick little trade. 2 contracts. We're going to keep this one a little bit smaller, I think. That way, if it turns on me, we'll just cut it. All right, we're completely flat here on this trade. Again, I want to give it time to reject. Slightly green. Didn't really do much yet. Maybe we should have taken a little bit larger size, but that's all right. There we go. Consolidation. The longer this takes, the less likely I am to hold it. So we lost $10 there, so basically a flat morning. Boeing just dropped big. Yeah, Boeing under 170s. Hey, what's your name? Steve. My name's Steve. Jimothy is my name. No, my name is John, by the way. Literally John. It's truthfully, it's John. John. Top 3 names in the world right now. Drop at the open or before, I don't know, man. We'll see. Scuba Steve, yeah. All right, very choppy. I mean, again, we're flat. I don't know what else to do here. Yeah, I don't think we have any. Powell's been speaking a lot, and I'm okay with it, right? I really am okay with it. So May 1st is the next FOMC meeting. It's in a couple weeks. John Wick. Yeah, they told me we do have a dog. In fact, we have our own dog's emoji. This is Rosie. We also have Bruce. My middle name is definitely not Steve, and my middle name is crazy. You would never guess it in a million years. It's Nordic, so it's Viking. And thinking about it, my dad's side is a bunch of Viking-looking people, you know. I'm the runt on my dad's side at 5'11", right? My aunt is taller than me. My cousin is taller than me. My female aunt, or my female cousin is taller than me. My aunt is taller than me. My dad's 6'2", 6'3". My cousin's 6'3", 6'2". I am the runt of my dad's side of the family. And so thinking about it, they are some Viking-looking people. My mom's side is like Cajun. She's short, you know. Lothbrook. No, that's not it. You'd never guess it. You never guess it. And I'm not gonna tell you guys that either. All right, chat. We're hanging out. NASDAQ's flat. We're waiting for something to go on here. We're mostly getting choppiness. So we can draw the top of this range because the bottom of the range did hold as well. Maybe we're in a broader, longer-term trend. We got to watch Nvidia. You know, I've been watching Nvidia most of the day. We'll put two charts up instead. There's Intel. We were talking about Intel. Where's Apple at? Let's take a look at Apple. I'm in Apple. I'm green on Apple. We'll see if it holds. But choppiness this morning for sure. Yeah, again, y'all would never guess it. Y'all really wouldn't. Y'all aren't going to be able to guess it. Doug Polk says, quote, and again, poker drama. A player steals $2 million marking cards and flees the country. Chess drama. A player was too loud in the refreshment area. We are not the same. End quote. Doug Polk. I love it. Honestly, it's really true. Honestly, poker players are a bunch of degenerates. I love poker. Poker's like my favorite game in the world, without question, right? I love poker. Been playing it for a decade now. But yeah, poker players are crazy. And so we did reject at the trend line. Look, that trend line held. So we are kind of holding this trend line. Bank of England speech today. It's not really much. Better is subjective. He says, what's better, EDV or TLT? Better is subjective. I mean, depends on what kind of bond, you know, tracking you want. TLT is longer term bonds, 20-year. T and X is what I kind of look at, but T and X isn't even there anymore. It won't even let me look at it for some reason. So. What do you think about Tesla Robotaxi? I think it'll be interesting to see if they can accomplish it successfully, you know. And I think if they do, then they're going to be, you know, really on the forefront of some big price increases, but maybe not. I really don't know. I think it's obviously the future, right? I think robotaxis and FSD, full FSD is obviously the future, or are obviously the future. I think technology growth is there, and I think that's the next steps. I think we might have some speed bumps, you know, some hurdles to get over infrastructure-wise with that type of stuff. But once we're there, if Tesla is still on the forefront of that, then they're going to do well, I think. But I might be wrong. Don't copy me. Not an investment professional. Don't sue me. Again, we've been day trading on, I guess I'm going to go ahead and buy this dip. We're going to take 3 contracts here. Maybe a little bit more. So again, this is day trading on Apex's funded account program. You can see how similar it is to day trading stocks, right? I just bought 3 contracts of what's called the NASDAQ 100 micro. Which means that the size is a little bit smaller. And so I can kind of scale into these positions and see if we get some good action here from it. I'm in 5 contracts now. You can see it's very similar to day trading stocks. There's just no PDT rule. So I can do this as much as I want. No PDT restrictions. I can day trade short, buy market, sell market, all that good stuff. No PDT restrictions. And Apex is one of the most legit funded programs. They've paid out over $100 million to their traders. What they do is they give you a demo and they test your skill. If you can pass the test, they fund you the same amount. This one's a 50K funded account. It only cost me 30 or 35 bucks. You can see we're now green on this position. Beautiful rip covering that. And we got funded in 50K for like 30 or 35 bucks for this account. We had to reset a couple before that just for transparency purposes. But again, that happens. We're out. Again, we're basically flat on the day now. And again, you can see it's very similar to day trading stocks. The best part is that if I lose, when I take this challenge, if I lose, I'm only out 35 bucks, you know, but I'm past, now I'm already funded. So I got a 50K funded account. And so it's not the end of the world if I lose it, but if now that I'm funded, I get a 90% split as long as I can follow their rules, right? So it's the best of both worlds. Limited risk. If you lose, you're only out a small amount of money relative to losing thousands. But if you pass it, 90% split. They pay out millions, fund thousands. They paid out over 25 million last month, I'm pretty sure. Also, though, remember, they are a sponsor. I'm biased. They pay me money, so of course, naturally, unavoidably, I'm biased. Because anybody that pays me money, I'm going to be more biased in their favor, of course. But if you want to check them out, great way to help support the channel. Understand CFTC 4.41. You know, these accounts certainly have different rules behind them. Understand, I also trade off stream sometimes, not claiming to be even a good trader. You can use my promo code BT. Beginner Trading, BT, 2 letters. Get you the max discount at all times. Check it out. Great way to help support your boy here in this channel. We appreciate the love. Thanks so much. Check out the link right there. So again, we got a nice little trade. We're basically flat on the day. Trading small until the open and into the chop, essentially, is what we're doing. Do you have to say you're so biased? I mean, I say that's for any sponsor of mine. I would rather be honest about sponsors. So anytime I promote a sponsor, it doesn't matter who it is, right? I'm going to say, hey, they pay me money. I'm biased in their favor because I think that's the right thing to do, of course, as well as it protects me liability-wise, right? So there's a lot of reasons I do that, but mostly because it protects me liability-wise, as well as it's truth. I'd rather be honest and truthful to people than act like, you know, it's not that way. Yeah, the micros are really useful for scaling. Commissions are a little bit higher, but hey, that's the price you pay, I guess. I think it's a good company, Jay. The reason I think it's good is because, again, I think most day traders lose money. Like, this is just the truth, right? Like, most day traders lose. If you put up, and again, this comes from my own experience of where I lost $4,000 in like a couple weeks in my first ever day trading account. And again, it was something that Carol was like, hey, John, at the time, $4,000 was a lot of money. I ran like this used book business from home. It's a long story. Carol had some medical stuff going on, so I basically had to work and pay the bills or whatever. And I had this used book business that I was running from home, and $4,000 was a lot of money to me at the time. When I started to learn trading, I thought I was about to just get rich, right? I kind of followed the gurus and penny stocks and thought I was just about to ride off into the sunset a trading savant, turn my 4K into 20, 30,000 and just live off of it or whatever. Carol was like, nah, bro, don't do it. I ended up losing all of it in a couple weeks, right? And that's a very common thing. Most day traders lose money. And so with that perspective in mind, it doesn't make any sense to me for a new trader to put up $5,000, $4,000. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. It's just too risky. You're probably going to lose whatever your first account is in real money, right? And so instead, limit your risk with this. And again, I always tell the same thing. To be fair, most day traders lose. I think most traders will lose on Apex as well, just like most day traders will lose on TD Ameritrade. It's a lot cheaper to lose an Apex account than it is to lose thousands of dollars in your own money, you know, for sure. And so you have to look at it from that perspective. And again, you got to look at it in the same way. If you pass it, 90% split, all that good stuff. So your risk is limited, and that's the best part of this. It teaches you how to trade under pressure. Again, it's a perfect middle ground of pressure where you're not risking thousands, right? But you're also not risking nothing. So you still have some risk. You still got to learn how to trade, you know, under pressure. Your risk is much more limited. And so in that regard, I think it's very useful for new traders to learn and condition themselves. Trading is all about conditioning. You got to condition yourself through repetition. And it's like Pavlov and the dogs, right? You got to condition yourself, do the right things over and over and over and over again. And experience brings that. You know, it's one of the reasons you can't just take any random course, any random mentorship. It doesn't matter who it is. It could be the best mentor in the world. You're still probably going to lose money in the beginning because it really takes time to condition the right trading characteristics. You got to do the right things. And if you don't, you're going to lose money. And so I think these are really good ways to condition the correct things with limited risk, right? If you lose, you're only out what you pay for it. You can condition yourself to get used to trading under pressure. And I think that's incredibly powerful for traders. And it's something that, like, a lot of the haters of these prop firms and funded account programs, they never bring it up because they understand that you're going to almost certainly lose more money putting the money up yourself, right? It's very difficult to lose 5K in a prop firm. You know, like, you've got to reset 1,000 accounts, you know, or whatever, or 100 accounts or whatever. It's very easy to lose 5K in a regular day trading account, you know. Anyways. All right, so we ripped over those highs again. I don't know if I want to take this risk of pushing too hard into this again. Again, I just don't know if I want to take this risk. Seeing some guy on YouTube or on X. He said, 4 days ago, my girlfriend broke up with me after 4 years. The lesson I take from this is nothing is guaranteed in life, and that it's the people you trust the most who end up turning against you. I wasted. Yeah, but bro, you're 19, dude. Like, no relationship at 19, dude. Like, listen, if you get involved in a relationship when you're young, it's almost definitely not gonna work. You gotta live life first, bro. You gotta live life first. Like, I had fun when I was young. I had fun from when I was like 16 to where I was like 22, 23. By that point in time, then I lived life. I experienced life. I was single. I was able to, do stuff. And then I met Carol, and we ended up working out. I've been with Carol for 14 years now. And again, we're strong, like, you know. Everybody's not going to work, though. You really got to find somebody that meshes well with you as a person. And that's not everybody, man. You know, you got people who just don't match and don't mesh well. So... Yeah, very like those young relationships don't work because again, if you start too early, you don't live life. You got to be single, I think, and then after you live life, then you know settle down. You know, if you don't have that life living part when you're young, usually regret happens as you get older. Yeah, Nvidia here, chat at 881s. Alright. Baba bouncing at these lows. I bought Baba a couple weeks ago. It's still trying to hold. Alright. Yeah, I'm not saying it's all. There's always outliers. So you're always gonna have some people that like, you know, make again. Carol and I are kind of an outlier. You know, Carol was 19. I was 22 when I met her. A lot of people said we wouldn't work, you know, and yeah. Yeah, I mean, loose cannon, it sounds like you've got your own stuff there. Loose. I'm married to the charts. Apple's still down though after yesterday. I wonder if it's. I mean, Apple. Somehow I'm green. I'm green. Yeah, I am green. Wow. Somehow I'm green on Apple. Microsoft looking very strong today as well. Microsoft, Google up to 156, almost 157s. I know TSM has earnings later on this week, right? Yeah, I'm looking at Microsoft. Microsoft at 417s. Oh, wait, is it tomorrow for Tyson? For TSM? Or for Taiwan? Let me do an earnings post. I don't think I did one. Alright, let's post this. Alright, so we got, let's see what else. Alright, so we got our earnings post out. Market's starting to go on somewhat of an upward trend. You can see Nvidia bouncing up to almost 882s as well. Yeah. Yeah, Bitcoin's still dipping down some. Do y'all think Bitcoin will bounce after the halving? Is another question. Yeah, a couple days until the halving. We don't really have any big news today. It's pretty slow, to be honest. People are scared of the halving. Yeah, I mean, miners are certainly worried about it, and they've already reacted a lot to it. But no, Carol and I worked because Carol and I, like, you know, I had known Carol, I had known one of Carol's friends, and one of Carol's friends invited me over to hang out with them with one of my other friends. And so I met Carol, but she was moving in like a couple weeks after I met her, right? She was moving. And so, and like I was ready to get out of Baton Rouge at the time. Like I'm from Baton Rouge, and we're both from Baton Rouge, right? I was ready to get back at Baton Rouge, and so her and I kind of started talking, but she was leaving, right? And so I wanted to get out of Baton Rouge anyway, so I ended up moving here with her in a very new relationship to me. Like it was new. So we ended up moving to Houston, and you know, just made it work. You know, just made it work. What's your opinion on people who call themselves trading gurus? I don't think many people call themselves trading gurus. I think most people are, again, I'm here to make money as well, so I can't really judge them too much. I just don't want them, as long as, it depends on if they're manipulating people into buying courses, right? Like that's where I draw the line, is like, are you misleading people into spending way too much money on overpriced content? You know, I'm not against courses, right? You could sell a course if you're only making like a couple $100, fine. Sell a course as long as it's a good course, right? But if you're charging people thousands of dollars for a mentorship program, and you're both basically got 1,000 students, but you're pretending like you're mentoring individual traders, of course you're not. You're just kind of giving them, regurgitating the same content to each person gets the same thing the other 1,000 people get. Somehow they're calling themselves a mentor, and they're charging people thousands and thousands of dollars for it. I look down on that. I think that's terrible. I think that's manipulating people and using, you know, I think people struggle financially, and they're so desperate to not struggle that they will buy the hype. and desperately believe it's true when it's not. And then sometimes when you tell them it's not true, they get mad at you for it because they want so desperately to believe it is real. That type of thing happens a lot. It's one of the biggest things I've seen in the trading community. And yeah, you got a lot of people that don't like my channel because they're doing just that, you know. And that's okay. Because again, all I can do is spread my truth, and if people listen, that's fine. Anyways. Yeah, I saw about the T1 rule. It's still going to be so restricted to trade, though. Bank of England is BOE. We got some Fed speakers today. You're getting TSM at 140, so that'll be an interesting thing. That thing has grown a lot in the AI boom. It's up from 81s to start the year at 140s now. Not quite up 100%, but it's up a lot. Yeah. All right, guys, we got 30 minutes left until the market opens. Again, it's really a boring, choppy, neutral day. We don't have a lot going on, so we're just kind of sitting tight. I'm hoping we get some good stuff. Hey, we're heading towards 135,000 subs, so I appreciate the love, guys. We're getting close, man. We're getting close. That's a fun stat, too, dude. 135K. We're getting up to almost 150. Before you know it, we'll have 200K, so... Alright guys, so we are gonna get ready to day trade the opening bell. Alright. Let's get ready. You're a successful trader making 15 to 20K a month. Why would you sell a course for $100? Correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, am I missing something here? I mean... Well, yeah, you kind of are. And again, I'm against courses for the most part. It's at least super expensive courses. Smart people diversify their income. right? It doesn't matter how much you make, especially in trading, right? It really doesn't matter. Like, trading can be very volatile, very inconsistent and unstable. And so smart people diversify their income streams, right? Like, that's just what smart people do. Like, acting like just because you make money in one way means that you need to just focus on that only and not make money in other ways is silly, and it's just not what, it's simply not what smart people do. At the same time, I think it needs to be reasonable. I think just because something's expensive doesn't mean it's good, and I think people have price bias where they, and again, a lot of them are so desperate to believe it that they ignore red flags, right? It's how people get wrapped up in pyramid schemes, multi-level marketing, Herbalife, like whatever. Like, they're desperate to believe it's true. Somebody comes along and they're like, hey, if you sell these protein shakes, you could get rich. Look at the top 1%. They're making $8K a month or whatever dumb number it is. And again, people, if you're struggling financially, you're more prone to want to believe it. And so you're more likely to ignore the red flags, more likely to get wrapped up in it, talked into it. And it's a really hard thing to shake. Like, I've reached out to people and been like, yo, you're in a pyramid scheme. You're in a multi-level marketing scheme. You're going to lose money. You're causing other people, hey, snap out of it. And they literally had a script that they read back to me. Like, so they literally had a script that they read back to me. So they're literally teaching people and giving them scripts on how to burn bridges with friends and family is what it is, right? Like, that's really what it is. Like, again, it's not worth it. I've said this before. I'll say it again. If you ever get wrapped up in something like that, right? If you have the reach to where you can make money in pyramid schemes or multi-level marketing schemes, if you have that type of reach, you could make more money selling your own product, your own service. You don't need to sell sketchy MLM things, right? If you have that much of a reach, you don't need to sell that stuff. You can sell other stuff, and you could be a car salesman. You could be a realtor. You could be all these different things that probably have a bigger ceiling than MLMs or whatever you're part of. And with that in mind, right, the reason you're not going to make money is because you probably don't have that type of reach, right? So if you don't have that type of reach, you're not going to make money there anyway. And so, point is, you shouldn't do it. Yeah, I agree. There's enough free information out there, But again, I'm okay if you want to organize a course for convenience and put it all in one place. That's fine, right? Just don't act like you've got some super secret system that nobody knows about that you got to pay $5K for. That's ridiculous. Yeah, gold's been pumping. I'm in gold right now too. You love to see it. Yeah, so we're in gold. Yeah, man, it makes a really weird situation. Like, we used to have a neighbor, right? It was this, like, we had a cool neighbor. We had weird stalkerish neighbors too. And again, people always say, hey, why don't you tell me what kind of car you drive or whatever. We've had weird stalkerish neighbors. I've told the Scott story a couple times, but we used to have this neighbor called Scott, right? Old man, very short, looks like Santa Claus, right? Like, short, gray-haired old man. And Carol would always, like, be friendly with our neighbors in case we were gone. Like, she would reach out and say, hey, can you take our trash out? Hey, can you, like, keep an eye on our house or whatever? She had our whole cul-de-sac of neighbors, and we would all kind of talk to them. We were all friendly with them. Sometimes we play like wiffle ball with them and like do some good stuff, right? It was a good neighborhood. Well, we had this one old man, again, his name was Scott. He lived down the street. He would always bring his little dogs over to our house, right? Eventually one day Carol comes up to me and she's like, hey, this dude, she said, Scott's sending me some weird messages. And she was like, hey, can you take a look at these messages? They're kind of off. right? And so I look at them and I'm like, yeah, these are definitely off. They were plausibly deniable though. So it's like you can't really be like, yo, what the heck? Because he's gonna say, oh, what are you talking about, bro? So it was plausibly deniable. It was obviously kind of like weird. The bigger problem is that they seemed obsessive, right? Obsessive is what they seemed, like strange, like obsessive, like he's obsessing. And again, Carol's pretty, you know, like she, yeah. And so anyways, she does the same thing to her dad. She shows her dad these messages. She says, hey, look at these messages. What do you think of this? And her dad has said the same thing, like, yo, this is weird. Right. So eventually we just kind of distance ourselves from this dude, you know, and again, it makes it a really strange situation. You know, one time Carol was gone and I was leaving. Right. And I left and then had to circle back around and come back home for a second. And Scott's literally in our yard with his dogs, like literally in our yard. Right. So he's like coming over to our house in our yard, like just freaking weird, man. Just freaking weird. Eventually we completely distance ourselves from him. We don't say a word to him. We stop talking to him and everything. And it just created this really weird dynamic. And again, I'm here to tell you, like, look, if you got some young 20-something-year-old pretty girl that's being nice to you, it's probably not because she has a thing for you. It's probably because you're old, you know, no offense. And she's just being nice to the older people, which is what everybody does. And I guess he just kind of, you know, got obsessive. It got really weird. Him and I had to have some words, and it just got weird, man. It just got freaking weird. And so again, if y'all wonder why I don't want to tell you my car, if I wonder why I don't want to tell you, you know, some stuff, that's why. Because again, people just freaking get weird, man. Because we knew all our neighbors, and originally he was nice and friendly, right? This is like you gotta understand, this is like a 65-year-old man. You know, so like we had all of our neighbors' numbers. Again, the reason I said this story is because we knew our other neighbor, right? One of our other neighbors, really nice guy. He was Puerto Rican, so he'd always make us like really nice Puerto Rican food and bring it to us. He was really cool, really nice guy. You know, we knew him, his daughter would give our kids a ride to school, like very cool family. Eventually his daughter one day started doing some type of multi-level marketing scheme, and she wanted to interview us for a school project. But really she interviewed my wife and started selling her on this MLM scheme, and my wife had to politely decline, but it kind of left like a weird rift. Like it kind of left like a weird, you know, weird rift in that relationship moving forward. And so the point is, these MLM schemes can literally burn bridges with friends and family. Like, don't do it. Yeah, I mean, it was a yeah, man. The older dudes can just be brazen with it, man. They're just doing it like they don't even care if you know. It's just weird. I think sometimes, yeah. But yeah, we moved away, luckily, you know. All right, guys, NASDAQ's starting to rip up. Tested the top of the range here, so we're testing the highs of pre-market. We already broke it here. Look at this high. So we're really breaking the highs of the last few days. We'll see if we get a dip here, though. I need a dip. We consolidated, ripped up. Nvidia's starting to run, too. Let's see if Nvidia can break over 900s. I want to take the TTM off of here. I don't want the TTM squeeze indicator up. There we go. I want to see the 200 EMA and the VWAP. 882.50 here, chat. Yeah, people would start noticing me in public and follow me. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. It's you know, people don't really understand, but yeah, I think women are targeted nowadays. Like we stayed at Memphis, and we had a guy that my wife went outside to pack up the car, and another old man came up to her and was like trying to start a conversation with it. I think he was trying to steal our tire caps for our car. Hard to explain, but you know, he was trying to mess with our car. She walked out. She said he was like looking at our car. Tried to spark up a conversation with her. She texted me, said, "Hey, this dude called." I walk outside, he immediately just leaves. Right, so I think women are targeted for sure, especially in like car situations. Microsoft up to 417.50s. Microsoft. Yeah, look at Microsoft up to almost 418s. People talking about AMC today. AMC's up a slight amount. It's listen, I'm for it. I'm in AMC. I hope it continues, but you know, it's got a long road up before it really gets back to anything reasonable to where we could call it strong. You know. Yeah, I think their argument, Hotshot, was that we didn't support her business, right? But if your business is an MLM, you know, I guess like we could have signed up, but then they're gonna expect like I don't want to even associate with that. I don't want to give anybody there my credit card number, you know, and to put it bluntly, especially not like Herbalife or somewhere like it. It wasn't Herbalife though; it was some other different brand, but similar thing. And a lot of times they target students too, right? They target students because students they need money. They're more desperate to believe it. All right, so again, AMC is up. Microsoft. We got this dip in the NASDAQ here. I almost bought this dip because we are pulling back to like multiple day support right here. So I almost bought the dip. Let me get rid of this angle here. Probably this whole trend line. Because this is multiple day support. Like if we zoom out here, like look. We got resistance all around here. So this is multiple day support. We maybe have some more up here. Let's take a look at that. Maybe got some more up here. Let's take a look at that. But we are over these levels. I don't want to pull back to here though. I want to pull back to there, and I don't know if we're gonna get it. Also, you got to watch Nvidia. Nvidia's influencing the whole market, really. Right, for sure, Saeed. You know, again, I remember I used to apply for jobs, and I get a bunch of freaking MLM guys calling back saying, "Hey guys," and I'm like, "Well, how much do y'all pay?" "Oh, well, it's commission based." Hang up, click. You know, no, thank you. I'm good. All right, we're waiting here, Chad. We got 12 minutes. It's a boring day, though. Tomorrow we got jobless claims. And then next week we got some stuff, but this week it's kind of boring. All right, so we started to get a dip. I'm going to take one contract here. One, just because we're pulling back to like multiple day support. I'm not telling you to buy anything. I have no idea what you should do. Don't copy me. But we're going to take two contracts at least. Try to take a larger position, but try to add up to maybe 4 or 5 contracts here. I could do some sales, but it would depend, man. Like a lot of sales jobs just want you to like burn through your whole network, and then then once your network is you know used up, then they just don't want you anymore, and so it's never gonna sustain itself. It's not a consistent good job to have. I was never a salesperson either. Like I was never a good salesman in that way. Like I could sell stuff on the internet, but like, you know, I was never a good salesman, like in person. I don't know. Alright, so we're up. I want to give a chance to bounce here, so I'm not going to take profit yet, even though we're up like 15 bucks. Alright, we'll take half off there. Again, we're now completely flat on the day. We've rebounded back from where we were down almost 100. Now we're basically flat, so that's good. Alright, so we're out. We've made our money. We're now technically green on the day, so we'll take it. I'm not sure, Ravi, about toss. I don't think so. No, I don't know how to get it to pull up. We might buy a little bit of... Again, we're in Nike. I might add a little bit to like Honeywell and Home Depot here. Yeah, I'm going to add a little bit to Honeywell and Home Depot, to be honest. We're going to start it off just small. Added a little bit to Home Depot chart. I don't know what it's going to do with the opening bell, but we'll see. Again, we got AMD, Nvidia, pump it up, Apple, Meta. And these both have earnings, so I think Meta and Tesla have earnings next week. Let me make sure. Tesla earnings Tuesday. Meta earnings Wednesday. Microsoft earnings Thursday. Google earnings Thursday. Intel earnings Thursday. Snapchat earnings Thursday. Roku earnings Thursday. Friday you got oil. And then next week we got SoFi on Monday. Not next week, the week after next. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Tuesday, April 30th. We got Amazon, AMD, a couple other ones too, so. How accurate do you think Redfin and Zillow estimates are for homes? Not accurate. I don't know. I'm not a real estate professional. Don't copy me. Not from my experience, they're not super accurate at all. Although they're probably getting better with AI, I would assume, right? I'd expect them to get better with AI, so I don't know. Alright, so we're consolidating at this top. I don't trust anything enough to really buy it up here. I think we're too extended on the upside short term. I think long term we could still go up, but yeah.
business.
Divisive question. Should players in the WNBA get paid more? Interesting sports question. Yes or no, chat? Let me know. Why and why not? That depends. Alright, so we're bouncing at the support level we drew, so we've been holding here. Okay, guys, we got about 4 minutes. It's such a boring open right now, though, chat. We just don't have much going on. So. $70K a year is atrocious. Yeah. I mean, I think they should get paid more, but I think it's a hard argument because I think that, like, they, you know, the NBA subsidizes the WNBA, right? So the NBA makes money, the WNBA loses money, and the NBA has to subsidize it because of that. Off of talent alone, sure, I think, like, Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, they should make some good money. But at the same time, you really got to think about the overall revenue the WNBA bring. I think college basketball is much more watched and viewed than professional basketball, and so, you know, I think it's a hard argument, but I mean, there actually is Fro. He said they probably should. There's no way they don't generate enough money to be paid more. I mean, they don't. You know, they just don't generate that much money, man. Not that many people watch the WNBA, unfortunately. And again, I think Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, very talented people. Thanks, T. Yeah, they also make more money outside of that, though. Like, again, they're public figures, right? So that helps them earn much more money than you might think. All right, chat. We got the opening in 2.5 minutes. 2.5 minutes. We got about 500 people here. Yeah, they make money from sponsorships. She got like a $10 million offer by the Big Three and Ice Cube. All right, so there's a pullback ahead of the opening. Chat, we got 10 minutes, or 2 minutes. The volume's pretty light today overall. It's not terrible. Google rip it up a little bit today too. I'm ready for next week's earnings week because this is a slow week. John Jones versus Alex Pereira. Oh, dude, please let it happen, bro. I want to see Jones versus Pereira. I mean, I think Jones would take him, but I do want to see Jones versus Pereira. All right, guys, we got 40 seconds here. 40 seconds. stoicism, dude. I see this thing, stoicism, being preached, bro. But honestly, like, it's kind of crazy. The people that I know in my life that preach stoicism are the least stoic people I've ever met in my life. I've got family who preach stoicism, and they freak out about everything. They're stressed out about everything. They're the least stoic people I've ever met. Yet somehow they're like, stoicism. It's like, dude, get out of here. All right, guys, we got 5 seconds here, chat. 5 seconds. Let the market open begin. Bruce is barking for the market open, I guess. Google at 157s. Big Papa Bruce barking. Hush, Bruce. Hush. All right, so we did get a dip here. I kind of want to buy the dip, but look at Meta's pullback here. Look at this dump in Meta. I'm going to buy extension dip. 1 contract. It's a little early to day trade here, but we're going to take 1 contract, see if we get a big retracement back up just for fun. Maybe if it goes in my direction, we'll add to it. Look at Nvidia, though. Again, I'm going to add some more here. 2 contracts. Uh-oh, Nvidia turned. I added at the wrong time. All right, we took a little bit of profit here. Now green. Again, it's too close to the open for me to feel comfortable taking any type of big size here, but we're just horsing around. Yeah. All right, we're out. All right, we're up a whopping 20 bucks today or so. Alright, so we did bounce all the way back. Nvidia bouncing back to 886 this year. So again, based off of Nvidia's strength, we will buy this dip and take some positions here based off of it. Again, we are day trading futures at the opening bell, chat. Futures. And just getting dumped on here quickly. Again, Nvidia's up, but man. I took half off there just to protect the trade. We're down on the day now. But again, that just happened too quickly here, to be honest. I'd rather be down a small amount than down a big amount. Alright, we would have made money on it, but that's okay. We're still flat on the day, so. We're trading a little bit too close to the open, where the volatility is very, very high. So again, we're going to try to add to this dip again. I like the downwick pressure. We're going to take some size now. 4 contracts. Oof. All right, we took half off again. Just too volatile, man. We're green on the day, but man, in gross profit. I don't even know if we're green in net. Such a volatile day, though, man. This looks bullish, so we're going to add some more to this now, I guess. 3 contracts. But it's such a big range, man. Top 3 most emotional traders in the world right now at the open. We're going to cut it. All right, so we're down 50 bucks now. I don't want to get caught in this big dump. Look at Meta fall down. Look at Amazon fall down. Again, so that's really why we're cutting this. Amazon falling down. Tesla falling down to 155s. Tesla looking weak. The Dow is up, though, on the day, which is even weirder. Happy Meal time? Dude, top 3 Happy Meal buyers in the world right now. Nvidia looks weak. I'm going to short it now and try to get into a good position here. Go. All right, we just took half off. Beautiful breakdown. Caught the weakness here. All right. Hey, now we're flat again. So back and forth this morning, chat. No, I wouldn't have it any other way. Let's see if Nvidia bounces at the 200 EMA. Look at this dump. So yeah, we're pivoting to more short. Microsoft doing all right, but everything else is very weak. I wanted to buy the dip, and it just retraced so fast, like in between clicking buy and thinking about buying that. All right, there we go. All right, so we're short again. We're gonna start shorting into this now. 3 contracts, 5 contracts. Gotta give it time, I think, but I think Nvidia could reject here, which is why I'm in this. And if it does, it could drag everything else down. Although I do think the extension could be on the downside. Big retracement, man, just choppy. I'm going to take 2 contracts off here at the top just because it's so volatile. Just to lower my size and my risk. I'd rather lose small than big. And again, it's getting to be one of those opens where we're just kind of, we made like 500 bucks yesterday. I don't want to just give it all back either. And just getting caught in the chop, and so we're probably going to cut this very soon. We'll give it one chance to. Nvidia is now over the previous close, so yeah, we're down 90 bucks today. Could be worse, to be honest. I'm not really super upset with $90 loss. Very choppy, very difficult to make money. It's interesting though, like a lot of tech stocks are down at the opening bell, but Nvidia coming back kind of essentially rebounds the market. Look at Tesla bouncing back a little bit too here. Still very red on the day. Or not super red. Red to green levels right there at 157. Apple? Is Apple strong? Hey, Apple does look strong. That's nice. Good. Hey, we're actually more green now in equities than we were before. Nike helping me out today. We did ball Nike a few days ago. That worked really well. SoFi's green today too. I'm not really panicking. I'm just kind of, we're recognizing chop. Again, we made like $500 yesterday, so being down 90, 100 bucks. I mean, 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 2 steps forward type of thing, you know. When you day trade as much as I do, you stop worrying about it so much. Google ripping up as well here, chat. So Google looks good. Yeah, the Nvidia earnings call is going to be chaotic, dude. Again, that's still our largest stream to date, is Nvidia earnings. And again, if you want to limit your risk like I am, try a funded account program like Apex. Again, this is Apex's funded account program. They're a sponsor of mine, so I'm biased, of course. I always tell people the truth, right? But great way to learn day trading, and if you're good enough to pass it, you can get started for very cheap and potentially get a funded account within a day, right? So what they do is they give you a demo, and they test your skill with the demo first. If you pass the test with the demo, then they fund you the same amount. The base one's 25K, this is a 50K, and they have packages all the way up to 300K. They have static accounts, all these different things. You can use a bunch of micro contracts on Apex as well, which lets you scale in and out and kind of limit risk as well. And again, there's no PDT in futures, so I can day trade the S&P, the NASDAQ, basically the SPY and Q. There's no PDT rule. I can do that, learn to day trade and pass the test and get funded. And again, I'm now funded in a 50K account. There's no PDT rule in this account. I have a 90% profit split in this account, so if I make 10K, I get to keep 9K. So again, I'm keeping most of my profit anyway, but the beautiful part about this, when you consider most day traders lose, is that if I lose the challenge, if I take the challenge and fail, I only lose what I pay for it, which the base one, the 25K one, is only 30 bucks. So if I'm down on, oh no, I'm out 30 bucks. It's not the end of the world. But I'm still learning how to day trade under pressure. I'm still learning how to, manage risk, but not as much risk as putting up 5K and losing that, So again, if you want to check it out, great way to learn how to day trade. The patterns in futures are very similar to stock patterns. Very similar to stock patterns. Again, you can check out the link right here. Use promo code BT, beginner trading BT, all one word, or all 2 letters, BT, beginner trading. Also, guys, remember, I have no idea what I'm talking about. I might be wildly wrong about anything and everything I say. I do trade off stream sometimes. Not an investment professional. I'm not even claiming to be a good trader. And understand CFTC 4.41 and all that good stuff. Microsoft testing highs as well, so Microsoft looking very strong. It's one of the reasons I'm less likely to short things right here, because again, Microsoft is up, Google is up, Apple is up, and so while the market looks like a McDonald's sign right now, is Tesla dropping? Yeah, Tesla's down to 155. Nvidia's now under some major levels here, though. There's a low crack. Super micro? Is it leading? Super micro up to 1020s. Super micro is strong today, or it looks strong. All right, so we'll look for maybe a little bounce up. We'll take maybe one more trade, but we're going to lower our size. We'll start shorting on a bounce. Maybe take 4 contracts max here is what we're going to look at. There's 3. All right, we took 1 off there, protected the trade. Now we got 2 contracts left. And we will take 1 more add to this, and that's it. Again, we lose on this one. We're going to cut it and leave the day down about 100 and couple, $120, $130. And looks like that's about what we're about to do. We're trying, but yeah, we just got to cut it. Unless, like, look, we're down, yeah, 150 bucks. Not the end of the world. We made about 500 yesterday. So could be worse. I'm probably just going to retire for the day, chat. I don't see anything that looks really good, to be honest. Very sideways, like neutral, boring day. Just does not look good at all to me. Down, up, doesn't look like favorable price action. What we really have is split. Like, a lot of tech stocks are up and a lot of tech stocks are down, and that's making us have kind of a choppy, boring market. What I should have done is trade with Chart Prime, because Chart Prime is always pretty solid. Again, I'm going to back test it live on stream like I always do. So again, let's back test today's price action on Chart Prime. Again, genuinely impressive. And again, I can't fake this. Nobody can, right? I can't fake this. I can't guarantee you're going to make money. Nobody can, right? But again, let's check them out today. So here's Chart Prime. They're a sponsor of mine. I'm biased, of course, because they pay me money, right? But like, let's look at today and maybe a little bit of yesterday's price action. So again, they're a sponsor of mine. I can't guarantee you're going to make money. Nobody can. But these are custom trading view indicators is what this is, right? Custom trading view indicators. Again, they give you these different signals and stuff like that. I was always kind of skeptical of programs like this, but check it out. Look, strong signal showed up right here on this candle.
Beautiful follow through. And this is a 5-minute chart, so that's like 30 minutes of green action. Sell signal showed up here. Beautiful follow through. Strong signal showed up here. Beautiful bounce back up. Look at this sell signal literally calling the top. Beautiful breakdown here. Buy signal showed up here. Beautiful follow through. Sell signal here. Maybe you could say this one was wrong. I still think it broke down some when you look at these, but again, you can maybe say this one was wrong. Strong signal showed up here. Beautiful follow through afterwards. And so again, 1 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1 out of 7 I see didn't work. And again, you can use this on a time frame, any time frame you want, hourly, daily, 1 minute, 5 minute, 3 minute, whatever. There's tons of other stuff, oscillators, backtesters, screeners, a bunch of cool stuff. It's like 40 bucks a month. Again, I can't guarantee it's gonna work. Backtest it yourself, but check it out. Genuinely impressive a lot of the time. And again, they're a sponsor. If you want to help support your boy here, check this out. I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. Just not much going on today, chat. Just not much going on today. Again, if you want to trade with me on Apex, limit your risk and try a funded account program. Apex, one of the most legit, paid out over $100 million and you know, has funded thousands of traders. You can get funding for cheap on Apex. Check them out. Link is in the description. They're both sponsors of mine. I love you all. Y'all have a great day. Again, we will be back tomorrow. Tomorrow we got jobless claims. I believe like durable good orders. No? Let me see. So yeah, tomorrow we got jobless claims, the Philly Fed Index, not durable goods. So jobless claims, Philly Fed Index, existing home sales, Fed members speaking, Bostic is speaking, John Williams, New York Fed, Michelle Bowman, Governor, and we also have the Philly Fed and jobless claims. So a lot of stuff coming out tomorrow, guys. Y'all be safe. Again, this is the NASDAQ, but you can use it on anything with a symbol on TradingView, right? Yeah, it's a boring flat. There's not a lot of stuff going on right now. We'll probably start the stream at 6 a.m., 6:15 a.m. So, again, I'll see you guys later. Y'all be safe. Y'all be good. Love you all. Have a great day. And I'll see you guys tomorrow.